Hey friends, this is Gregory Bass. Thank you for joining. I have several of you out here, so I'm super glad you're here. Jerry, of course, always happy to have you here joining the show. Yes, it's me, Gregory Bass. Tonight, I am here alone. But tell me, does that mean there's no content for the show? No, that's absolutely not the case. We definitely have content that we're going to be talking about tonight. And I need your help to cover it, really. I mean, just like last week, the discussions are great whenever you all participate. And tonight, it's even more important because we will be discussing Lent, which Lent's coming up, right? If you are following the calendar, Lent actually will begin on Wednesday, February 17th. So it gives us about 2 weeks of preparation. So we'll talk specifically, what's it take to become prepared, right? Because if you're like me in the past, what happened is I basically, oh yeah, Lent starts today. What am I giving up? But also at the same time, why is it we focus on what we're giving up for Lent, right? What else is there to Lent, and what should we prepare ourselves for? So really excited to talk with you all about that. Claire's not feeling well tonight, so I appreciate any prayers that you can offer up for her, as well as the family and boys. It is it's wonderful to be going through the blessings that we have been given, and I thank Claire for the sacrifices she's making for our family to grow. But Lent will run from Wednesday, February 17th through Saturday, April 3rd. And, we got to make the best of that time in preparation for the greatest sacrifice that anyone has ever made for us, right? That being what Jesus did for us on the cross. So we'll be talking about that. But I want to know who's here tonight. I see I have several people watching. So welcome to Removing the Rust. If this is the first time you're joining, Removing the Rust is a show that was created by the Holy Spirit, right? Not me, I'm just a tool. But essentially, the show is all about talking to experts and talking about what the Catholic Church teaches as it pertains to its faith. Hey, Misty, how you doing tonight? I'm super glad to have you here. So we want to look at basically what the church teaches and teach the truth to people out there, because I can't tell you how often, and I'm sure that you can help me out, but there have been many times where I ended up speaking to some people and they just have a different understanding and knowledge of the Catholic Church. And so I didn't want that to hinder people's opinions. But let's be real, the show has morphed into that. What it started as was an opportunity for me to deepen my faith and my knowledge of the Catholic Church. One, knowing that intellectually I wanted to learn everything I could about the Catholic Church and what it taught, so I can defend the faith and evangelize, go out there and meet people, but then also to deepen my spiritual faith, to grow that in essence. And it's been a great journey. I've made some really good friends. Misty has been on the show, been in attendance on shows many times, as well as Jerry, those two people that have spoken. But I know that I also have people who are watching us tonight. So thank you for joining us. So updates. We have set a date for Holy Trivia, which I'm super excited about. And the priest, right? So Holy Trivia came after we had Catholic Jeopardy, because priests from the Lafayette Diocese started talking a bunch of smack to the priests of the Lake Charles Diocese. And so Holy Trivia was born. What Holy Trivia will be is it's just going to be awesome. 5 priests from the Lake Charles Diocese versus 5 priests from the Lafayette Diocese. And of course, Jerry Murray, who we all know and has been said many times, he's not a Catholic. He's not a practicing Catholic. And he wasn't even baptized as a Catholic, I don't believe. So he actually won Catholic Pictionary that we had one night on the show, and he has won access to that. So I know before we said that Jerry will be joining 5 priests from the Lake Charles Diocese, but in our current discussions, it seems that we all might be together, meaning that it will be 10 priests together. So if that's the case, how cool would that be? But Jerry, I'm super looking forward to that. So the date, my calendar closed, so I will refer to it here in a second. We wanted to make sure that it was after it's April 14th, actually. Now I remember, it was my sister's birthday. April 14th is the day that we are going to be shooting to have Holy Trivia, which gives us plenty of time to plan this massive event. But what this event will be focused on is turning Removing the Rest into its nonprofit, like finalizing everything and raising the funds necessary for us to do some outreach in the community. We'll always be founded on education and learning about the Catholic faith, but we want to make sure that we are doing more in the sense of how we're growing and getting out there to people. And so we hope that you'll continue to join us on this journey. So I know I'm doing a lot of talking. It's good to be here with you tonight. Thank you for having me. It's a different setup, right? But it's always about the content and what we're talking about. I will say that last week, whenever we had the discussion about what happened to me at the veterinary clinic. One second. Sorry, my throat's a little dry. Had orientation at work today, so I'll talk there, and then I'm talking here, but it's good. I don't remember what I was talking about, but I do have something else I have to say. We spoke last week about a multitude of topics, right? And so one of the main topics or takeaways from that show was someone had requested that we have a series on the 7 deadly sins. And Claire and I both was like, how have we never covered this? And so I started reaching out to some of our past experts and some new experts. And we are thrilled to share that there's been a lot of excitement into this and actually some guidance in the sense of what's next, what we got to do first, and all this other stuff. So, my issue after the vet. Thank you, Misty. I appreciate it. Yeah. So after that, I've been thinking about it. I've been praying on it, praying for that gentleman. And, I'm finding peace in it and with it, and knowing that I now am going to look for future opportunities to serve his people. And hopefully we're doing that here tonight. So now, this is whenever I need you to participate. We still have people watching. Some people left. Yeah, I know. I'm a little bit to listen to, but let's talk about Lent. And let's be real. I have truly never prepared for Lent in such drastic measures, in the sense of 2 weeks ahead of time saying, okay, I need to prepare for Lent because it's important and it is something that can, form your faith. So what have you done to prepare for Lent in the past, and what do you find important? I have an idea and it's an understanding from some, research that I did. And so we'll talk about that a little bit more, but I kind of want to know what you did to prepare, and also what it is you do during Lent that helps you to grow closer to Christ and to acknowledge his sacrifice for us. So I look forward to y'all sharing that in the commentary. And if you don't, well, the show might be over quicker than we expect. But to me, it's rather to prepare for Lent. It's not something that's difficult, right? But anything worth doing is worth preparing for. And so if we want to have a good Lent and we want to exercise our faith and our suffering, then why not prepare for that? Become the person that is looking forward to that experience. And so it takes desire and focus. Desire to have a good experience through the Lenten season, but focus to make sure that we continue to stick to it, to know that it's not just about giving up some things. Getting a text message. Let me make sure I don't have anything crazy going on, like my mic being muted or something like that. No, I'm good. Okay. Good. So, the Lenten season, super important. How many days is it? Jerry, do you know how many days Lent is? Go ahead and answer that for me. We'll see. You like the graphics I put on behind me for y'all? So you don't have to look at blank screens. And then you also know that Lent ends with Ash Wednesday. And Ash Wednesday is probably putting me on the spot. Jerry, when have I not done that? Come on, dude. You got to know. Or at least I assumed you would. If you don't, then I'll absolutely tell you. But I tell you the start date and end date. So if you want to do some math, you can do that too. But, you know, anybody else want to tell Jerry how many days Lent is? Oh, no. Lent ends with Ash Wednesday, right? Because Ash, no, I'm sorry. You're, yes, it starts with Ash. It's February 17th is Ash Wednesday, which is the first day of Lent. Yes, I apologize, Misty. Thank you for pointing that out. You see, that's what happens. 40 days, not included Sundays. Look, Sean's on. You see? See, I invited this gentleman right here, Sean, a good friend of mine. Well, we just became good friends. But, man, it doesn't take long for me to like people. Yes, 40 days, not including Sunday, is correct, right? From that day, it kicks off with Ash Wednesday, which Ash Wednesday itself, does anybody know this answer? Is Ash Wednesday a holy day of obligation? I'll wait for an answer to that. Sean, I'm so glad to see you on here, bro. You should have joined me for this discussion. I hope the family's doing well, going down nicely, and the wife's feeling good. It's longer than a month, he says. Yes, Jerry, it is longer than a month. So I'm glad you said that. 40 days. It's a little warm. I had to turn on the fan. There we go. Now we got some answers. No. Yes, that's right. It's not a holy day of obligation, though priests tell me that it's probably one of the most attended days outside of Christmas and Easter, which we know why Christmas and Easter are really packed, because the cafeteria Catholics love to. My dog's going crazy for some reason. Ma, come here. Hey, Jason. Look, Jason's on. Gregory Chasson. Did I say that correctly? Gregory Chasson. That's a good first name, though. What do y'all do for Lent? You don't have to tell me what you give up. I understand that might be something, but how do you prepare? How have you prepared in the past? Besides being focused, right? Let me pull this up for y'all. Come on, this is like me. I think he said, yeah. All right, let me ask you this. Why do Catholics receive the ashes? Misty says she devotes more time to prayer and attends at least one weekday mass. Like one weekday mass every week, or just one? Ooh, Gregory, you do Exodus 90? Really? How are your cold showers going? That sounds rough. Tell me about those. I have well, actually, Father Long, he and I speak about Exodus 90 a good bit, because he does it. And, he came over for dinner the other day, and I wanted to have a little bit of scotch, and he can't have that. You're on day 91? Well, overachiever. Day 91 of cold showers? Have you been? No, that happens at day 14, right? So, but it's still it's a lot. Samuel Summit. Okay. That makes sense. Jason says he focuses more on morning prayer. A start to your day. That's good. Absolutely. Anybody want to tell me why we get the ashes? What are the ashes for? And what are they made of? Where do we get the ashes? Every week. That's awesome. I want to try to do that too, Misty. That's a great idea. I actually have the opportunity to do that with our CIA. Mom, come. Lay down, please. Okay, sorry about that. Kept moving around. Palms, that's right. Palms from the previous Palm Sunday, right? Misty, you weren't questioning yourself, were you? There's no way you were questioning yourself. All right, so what do they represent? What do the ashes mean? What does the priest say whenever he gives it to you? Man, thumbs up. That's pretty incredible, Gregory. There you go. That's right. We are dust. Dust. You're dust, and to dust you shall return. Which is kind of beautiful when you think about it. It's kind of nice to not be overly talkative tonight. But let's think about something, okay? So now we are going into the Lent season. And if you're like me, I'm just going to be out there. I have never had a Lent season where I've sacrificed something and maintained that sacrifice throughout the season, right? So I did refrain from meat because my wife is very good about making sure I don't eat meat on the days that we should not. But I have always struggled to maintain the sacrifice of whatever that luxury item it is that I gave up. So if any of you were able to do that for a season, tell me, what did you do? What helped you to maybe get to that point that you can offer me for this Lenten season? Because, you know, it's super important that like the Christmas season that we just went through, Advent, you know, which was incredible for me. It's probably like the time where it just was one of my greatest Advent seasons because I actually focused on it. And so that's why it's important for me to prepare for the Lenten season, to build myself, you know, to die to myself. Look at that. Gregory is saying hi to Jason. So Jason, if you didn't read this, there you go. I guess y'all know each other. Hey guys, y'all give me a second. I'll be right back, okay? I gotta go. Claire's not feeling well, and you're one of my children, so I'll be right back. Whew. That was fast. I ran. All right, so I felt like this topic, one, it was supposed to be a discussion. I had a few people that I was going to try to get to jump on and stuff like that. But, you know, I let the Holy Spirit do what it should do. I don't think Lent needs to be difficult in the way that we'll prepare for it. So what I'm going to be doing to prepare for Lent offers me the opportunity to, one, acknowledge the sacrifice that Jesus has made for us. And so I will definitely be focused on, Connie says ashes mean repentance and death. That's right. Which is interesting because isn't that why priests wear black? To remind them of their own death? That's pretty crazy. If we look at and understand and know, the richness. I mean, think of how much we've learned since. I actually do. I think of how much I've learned since we started removing the rest. And it's just been an incredible experience. And the amount of people that we have interacted with and brought on the show. And oh, man, I'm so glad. So we talked about Lent. We'll go back to that once it starts flowing there. But there is something I want to talk to you all about. And it's been very fruitful to have experts come on the show and talk about Catholicism and basically the truth of the Catholic Church. And so we're going to continue to do that. And come see. Since you want to interrupt me when you know I'm on the show, you might as well come say hi. Come see. Come say hi. Big silly. You want to be on the show with me? How about you be on the show with me? You'll be my co-star. How's that sound? Yeah? Everybody's seeing you, so say hi. Everybody, this is Ronan, if you don't know or haven't, if this is your first time or you haven't seen him or met him before, this is Ronan, our little one. He is, how old are you? 5 whole numbers. 5? That's good. Well, did you hear what Daddy was just talking about? You did? What was I talking about? Look, Mr. Gregory says hello to you. Misty says hello to me. Oh, yeah. Brother Patrick can't have Ronan getting all the attention. Let's go ahead and say hi. What are you wearing, Patrick? You got a little Minecraft on? Yeah? Hello. Minecraft. We're talking about Lent, guys.
Oh, cool.
And we're talking about how you have to sacrifice or give something up for the Lent season. Patrick, have you thought about what you're going to be giving up for the Lent season?
No shows. No light shows.
No, you're giving up TV for the Lent season? Well, we don't watch very much TV anyways.
The games are okay.
Games are okay? But that's what you do a lot of. So are you really sacrificing if you give up shows, which you don't do as much, but games that you do way more?
Let's see. I wonder.
No, I'm not telling you have to give up games. I'm just saying that you might want to think about giving up something that is more of a sacrifice, something that's going to affect you a bit more than, the thing that we do maybe once or twice a week. You know what I mean? What about you, Ronan? What you going to give up for Lent? 40 days. Patrick, everybody's telling you hello too. Huh? Hey, you keep moving, you're going to fall. What are you going to give up for Lent? You're going to give up candy? Are you? You're going to give up candy? Man, wouldn't that be something? We keep hitting my desk and shaking my camera. And keep watching. We're super unprofessional tonight, but it's a good event. I'd rather come on than not have anything and have a discussion and then get off, but it's been great.
All
right, that's enough. Love y'all. Bye.
Yes.
Nope. See you later. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Please go. Thank you. Silly boys. Thank you all for being sweet to them. It's nice to hear that. And it's always, Patrick, it's a great reminder. The Holy Spirit will work when he needs to work. And that's what just happened, because having them come and talk, it helped me to see and remember, my own struggles. It's like, it's difficult to give up that thing that, might be your peace. It might be the thing that you look forward to at the end of the day. It might be, a vice that keeps us going. But then does that vice also pull us away? Does it make us a better person? Does it bring us closer to Christ? Right? And so I found it very interesting. I asked myself the same thing, and
I'm going to give up listening to music.
You're going to what?
Give up listening to music.
You're going to give up listening to music?
Because I listen to music a lot.
When do you listen to music?
A lot at school, seriously.
You can't give up listening to music at school. Your teacher plays the music. All right, guys. All right, seriously.
I wanted to ask you a favor.
Shh. Hey, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to ask y'all to hold on one more second. Ooh, I beat the timer. I had to get them situated. Otherwise, they would have kept bugging me. I assume that Claire laid down and went to bed. So now they're rambunctious and running around, trying to act out. Okay, so this is what I want to talk about. I know that I said that, we have the series on the 7 deadly sins coming, but there's another segment that we're going to be bringing to the show. And we actually scheduled our first that was definitely an accident. We scheduled our first witness. We can call him a witness or witnesses. Basically, we're going to have a new segment that's basically called My Catholic Neighbor, right? And it's instead of just talking to experts, those people who have studied Catholicism and are able to answer our questions, we're going to talk to real people who live or strive to live a Catholic life that will give us the opportunity to ask them questions and say, hey, what worked, what didn't work? We'll make sure that we bring on people who are single. We'll bring on people, married couples, and, we'll just make sure to have a variety of individuals here to come and share. And also at different ages in their life or stages in their life. And so we will be focused on that. I really hope that y'all are interested and excited about that, because I know I am. Because it's great to have experts here, but if we're continuing to just put a whole bunch of information, I think if we were able to talk about some content, like a subject, and then focus on that subject for an extended period, really allows us to learn more about it and to hear about others' testimony as it pertains to that. And so next week's, we're going to bring a family on who I know has a rather large family. And they focus on having a Catholic household and raising children, wide range of ages, but at the same time, it's like the struggle that comes with it, right? The struggle of marriage, the struggle of having kids. And right now, all the struggles I'm feeling of struggles of having kids and a dog that's not listening to me, a wife that's sleeping and wondering what's going on the other side of the house. So fingers crossed. I'm going to keep praying for that. But yeah, I hope you're excited about that, because it really is going to add another dynamic to removing the rest that will allow us to continue to focus on a topic that will bring us closer to Christ, right? And so we hope that you all, the reason this segment is being created, affords you the opportunity to be a guest on the show. We would love to talk to our viewers. We would love to hear how maybe if the show has impacted your life, or how God has impacted your life. How have you changed the way that you live and what you do? And so we want you on the show, and that's what this segment is for. We haven't determined the frequency of that just yet, but I do believe that it'll probably be at least once a month. And so obviously, it's easier to get you on the show if you tell me that you're interested than me reaching out. And I would hope that you would pray about it and come on the show to share your story, your life with Christ. I get such joy in sharing my conversion story. And I do the quotes because I've always been Catholic. But I had this reawakening, let's say, that allows me to be with y'all every Wednesday. So again, thank you for being here tonight and discussing that. I know there's a lot of changes coming, and I know it's been not very consistent with experts coming on the show these days. One, it's just because of an increased workload, and at the same time, it was a busy season. I think there's a time of rest going right now, so a lot of people are more are busier. But I think that coming up with these different segments will allow us to make sure that we have a schedule that we can stick to, right? We have our expert, and then we have, our witnesses to whatever we're talking about there, and how they focused on it. And then, of course, if we were to stick to it, like our family game night, I think that was a really fun time. Let me know if you think that would be something to keep going. the reason we want to focus on family game night is because we want to make this a family initiative as well. And so to give you as a family the means and opportunity to participate together against other families with good content, and then also afford a learning opportunity for us. So I hope that you all will consider that as well. Guys, I'm so sorry. I hear my dog and children going crazy, and I'm sure Claire's trying to sleep. So I'm gonna have to step away for one more second. So I'll be back. Give me a minute. All right, I didn't need the full minute, so I'm here again. How much of a wreck is this show tonight? Gosh, it's a wreck, but it's still fantastic to be here with you all. And I thank you for participating with me as much as you have. So just an overview, we have a new segment coming up where we will be talking about your Catholic neighbor, which is essentially just Catholics living the Catholic life, going through the struggle that life is, right? But sharing with us their story that can allow us to grow in our own, which is just awesome. We have Holy Trivia coming up in April. So April 14th is when we have the tentative date scheduled for Catholic Trivia, 5 priests from Lafayette Diocese versus 5 priests from the Lake Charles Diocese. So we hope that you will consider joining us for that time and help us even so financially to become the nonprofit that we are striving to be. So that's one thing. Also, we still have a few spots left on the board. And so if you would like to become a part of the Removing the Rest and help us to farm this organization and to create all these things that we're doing, and I mean, it's just, there's so much to say about it. If you want to be a part of it, I ask that you pray about it and consider it, and hopefully join us if it comes to that point. But I don't want to take much more of your time, except for the point of Lent. You know, now is the time to prepare. We have about 2 weeks exactly until Lent begins. Let a desire grow in you, right? So spend some time in prayer, but be focused on what's happening. And then also strive through the sacrifice. You know, I'm going to try to do the same thing, but I'm going to also ask you all, the Removing the Rest community, to keep me accountable to you know, whatever promises I make, and I'll begin praying about what I intend to do, and we'll see what happens. But you know, this is what I have for the show tonight. I don't have much more. It's difficult to banter back and forth with myself. And so I appreciate you participating as you have and having a little discussion about Lent with us. Really, let's call attention to it. Let's continue to focus on growing, you know, more intellectually with our faith, but most importantly, spiritually, becoming closer to Christ. I'm feeling called to say this, you know, because we're talking about having the series on like the 7 deadly sins, right? And you ask yourself, what's the greater sin? Is the greater sin failing to pray daily, or the sin of lust? Let me ask y'all that. What is your thoughts? What are your thoughts? What's a greater sin? Failing to pray daily, or the sin of lust? I'll wait awkwardly until I see some comments. There's a lag, so I mean, I assume that's where it comes from. Be intentional. Yes, absolutely. Be intentional. Anything worth doing is worth preparing for. So make sure that you do that. Make sure you prepare. Failing to pray daily. That is absolutely correct, Misty. Yes. So failing to pray daily is a worse sin than the sin of lust. One, because the sin of lust tends to happen with the human nature, right? Because we are imperfect individuals. And so it takes willpower to take that further, to take lust into something else. But it also takes willpower to pray and to spend a relationship. You wouldn't have a relationship with people if you didn't talk to them. And so spend the time, be intentional, and pray and be prepared for that. But I was just called to that because we have to be intentional for our time. Don't ever say, good job, Jerry. Jerry got it right too. He's like, I would say failure to pray daily. And that's absolutely true. And make sure you focus on that as yourself. Yes, failing to pray, Connie's saying. Thank you all so much for joining and sharing that. I would say, and this is most importantly, this is why I'm having this discussion with you all. Lent is not something to do alone. It is absolutely not something to do alone. And that's how that's what I thought it was. That's what I had experienced in the past, that I gave up this. So I need to suffer through this, and I need to prepare for what it is a sacrifice that Jesus makes for us. And, it was always a me thing, something that we did alone. I mean, yes, we come together for Mass and for some of these events, but I've never had a Lent with accountability outside of my wife trying to hold me accountable, to which I became perturbed because it's like, I can do this on my own, right? That whole pride thing that comes into play. That's just being honest. I mean, that's just iron sharpens iron. Amen to that. Iron sharpens iron. A little bit of heat will make it more malleable too, right? So right here, I look forward to the time where iron can start sharpening the iron. I still got a good bit of rust to remove from my cross, but that's a great point, Gregory. It's a great point. I saw that Jason called you Greg, so I assume, but I'm gonna call you Gregory because I introduced myself as Gregory, and then people are like, "Hey, Greg," and I'm like, "Hi." It's awesome. Don't do Lent alone. I mean, you guys help keep me accountable, but also find somebody in your circles, in your areas that you can talk through this, right? Someone I can ask you, did you pray today? I find it so interesting and actually rewarding that Greg is good, he said. Awesome, Greg. My spiritual director, he will say, and he challenges me to this, and this is a great example of what like pride and everything can happen, how it can happen, and how God uses our moments of pride to teach us. And so I was in spiritual direction, and I was given the task of praying for 5 minutes a day. Just at minimum, pray 5 minutes a day. And at the time, I was praying 30 plus minutes a day, right? So I'm like, I'm going to kill it. This is going to be awesome. And that month, what do you think happened? Obviously, what God wanted to teach me through pride and the fact that you think you got it figured out. And then the devil got involved and said, oh, you think you got it? Well, let me make you busy and let me give you this and that. And so that next month was probably one of the most difficult months for me because I had this immense desire to go back to prayer and a failure to find the time, intentional time, mind you. Litany of humility every day. Oh, dude, I love the litany of humility. We actually said that on the show one time, and Jerry was actually, where is it? I have that. I used to have all my books here, but we had the great coffee spill of 2020. I was at work and Claire called me and she was in a panic. And I'm like, oh my gosh, is everything okay? Everything okay? And she's like, please don't be mad, or I'm just so scared, or I was thinking you'd be mad. And she said, I spilled coffee on your desk. So if you know me, I love technology. So the first thing I thought about when she said I spilled coffee on my desk is like, what happened to my computer? And that wasn't the case. But the great coffee spill of 2020 had all these books that were going across here. Basically, the entire bottom of them were doused. I still have all of them. And actually, it's a great memory now because whenever I open my books to read it, it smells like coffee. So great time to read it either in the morning or at night. It's a good experience. And so, I say all that because it brought me to the point where, my 5 minutes a day where I was like, yeah, I'm going to kill it, I'm going to do awesome, was one of the most difficult things to do. And I ended up missing, I think it was like 12, almost half the amount of days that I was supposed to do that. I was still praying with my family. I still had family prayer going, but that's good as an example, as a father and a leader in your home and in your house, to do that, to make sure that you instill that in them. But my own prayer, my spiritual life was struggling. And we talked about that actually last night. So I challenge you to just have 5 minutes of personal prayer, intended personal prayer with no distractions. You'd be surprised at what it can do. And if you're already doing that, that's great. Maybe offer another 5 minutes for somebody else, right? What can you do to help somebody else get through their struggles? And again, importantly, I want you all to pray about your testimonies and your ability to share that with people. And think about if you would like to be on Removing the Rest. And if that is the case, I would love to have you on the show, because people learn from other people. That's what I do at work. I do not want to reinvent the wheel. I like to learn from others' experiences. And if that is what we are going to have the opportunity to do, then I would love to learn from you, because we have such a vibrant community with Removing the Rest now. And I know that y'all are all so knowledgeable and we learn some new stuff, but I want to know about your life experiences and how you made it through with God, right? And I'm telling you, the words that you share will help other people. So let's focus on that. Guys, let's prepare for the Lenten season. Let's prepare for the events that we have coming up with Removing the Rest and the continued changes that we see in the organization. If you do feel calls to serve Removing the Rest, please let us know, even if it's not in the board capacity. You might say, well, what does being on the board do? You get to plan really cool events with us, right? You get to be one to help us decide the direction of Removing the Rest. If you take on any of the executive roles of it, like as a treasurer or secretary, you would take notes and make sure that you keep records of things that are happening. I obviously will still be very involved as one of the directors of Removing the Rest, but I'm not asking you to give me 10 hours a week. I'm not even asking you to give me 5 hours a week. I'm asking you to give Christ some of your time. If this is one of the ministries that you feel called to. And so I think that we all have the opportunity to give some time. And I know even more now how difficult it is to be consistent, especially like every Wednesday coming on, but it's always so fruitful. And I just want to make sure that we continue to have content. I know you don't want to see me every Wednesday. It's not about me streaming live and talking to you. It's about making sure that we bring people on here and add value to our faith and our lives and our understanding and growth. And so we didn't begin the show with prayer because I went right into the Lent discussion. So I would like to end the show in prayer with you. So please, in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Father, we are now 2 weeks away from the beginning of the Lenten season. May we prepare our hearts and souls for that time. I thank you for the wonderful people that join Removing the Rest and those out there that need you, O Lord. I pray that you fill their hearts with whatever needs that they may be, that they turn to you. I acknowledge your suffering and sacrifices for us. I thank you for the peace that is silence. In that silence, we can hear your voice if we were to listen. Give us the opportunity to see you in our daily life, Lord, where we have the opportunity to serve and love others as you loved us. Help us to remove the rust, the stain from our souls, and to prepare. Amen. Okay, guys. I, again, am very thankful that y'all joined me tonight, especially for 47 minutes of me talking. But this was very fruitful for me, and I hope it was for you. I want y'all to know that if y'all ever have a need, if you ever have a prayer request, send it to us. And we are actually starting to work on our website again to make sure that we can put up our prayer wall and all these other things that are going to add another opportunity for Removing the Rest to reach out to people. And so, guys, this is Gregory Bass with Removing the Rest. We love you. And since my wife isn't here, we'll continue to remove the rest together.